Tonight, the final debate. The two presidential candidates square off for the last time their message on key topics.
Plus, winter weather in the fall. A 3rd October snowfall blankets much of the Northland. Caitlin has more on what could be record-breaking snowfall.
And later, hunters rejoice why some say the early snow could be just what's needed for a successful hunting season.
From CBS3 Duluth, this is the CBS3 News at 10.
Welcome to the CBS3 News as we take a look toward Duluth on this snowy Thursday. Meteorologist Caitlin Moffitt has been tracking the system and we'll have all the details coming up. Good evening, I'm Kristen Baki.
And I'm Anthony Matt. Thanks for joining us. Before we get to weather, we have to start with the debate. And with new measures in place to keep order, President Trump and former Vice President Joe Biden went head-to-head at Belmont University.
Hoping to sway undecided voters less than 2 weeks from Election Day, Skylar Henry has the latest from Nashville, Tennessee.
President Trump and former Vice President Joe Biden squared off for their final debate before Election Day. The president defended his handling of the pandemic.
We closed up the greatest economy in the world in order to fight this horrible disease that came from China. We have a vaccine that's coming. It's ready. It's going to be announced within weeks.
Biden outlined his plan for fighting COVID-19.
I'm going to shut down the virus, not the country. It's his ineptitude that caused the country to have to shut down in large part.
The candidates addressed the topic of interference in the election from overseas.
They will pay a price if I'm elected. They're interfering with American sovereignty.
Nobody tougher than me on Russia. Between the sanctions...
Biden responded to President Trump's claims about the international business dealings of Biden and his son Hunter.
My son has not made money in terms of this thing about, what are you talking about, China. I have not had the only guy made money from China is this guy.
Your son said we have to give 10% to the big man. Joe, what's that all about?
Even before tonight's debate, about 47 million Americans have already voted, ahead of Election Day, which is just 12 days away.
You know who I am. You know who he is. You know his character. You know my character. You know our reputations for honor and telling the truth. I am anxious to have this race.
You know, Joe, I ran because of you. I ran because of Barack Obama, because you did a poor job. If I thought you did a good job, I would have never run.
They discussed the future of health care.
I'd like to terminate Obamacare, come up with a brand new, beautiful health care.
What I'm going to do is pass Obamacare with a public option.
Polls show there are far fewer undecided voters now than 2016, when President Trump was elected. Skylar Henry, CBS News, Nashville, Tennessee.
The Trump campaign had wanted the entire debate to focus on foreign policy.
The Duluth Police Department has made their biggest drug bust in history. The year-long investigation led to the arrest of 35 people. Officers seized more than 1 pound of heroin laced with fentanyl, more than 2.5 pounds of meth, and 2 guns plus ammunition. Authorities got a tip. A man from Rochester, Minnesota, Ricky Osborne, was leading a group called Black Keystone Nation Gang, which distributed drugs throughout greater Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Iowa. Authorities say this will lower the amount of opioids circulating in the community and hopefully allow the DPD to get addicts help.
We'll point you in the direction of where you can get help. We'll even drive you there. We're committed to helping you.
Duluth police are still looking for 10 more people involved in the case. More than a dozen agencies were involved in the bust. And finally, we get to turn to the weather. Caitlin's here. Caitlin, we were pretty close to a record earlier. Where are we at?
We are past the record.
All right.
We're now sitting at the number 1 spot, but it's by a measly 0.1 inches. Still beating the record, and it is still snowing out there, so I think we can get a little bit further past that come tomorrow morning. We'll have to wait and see, but here is the kind of the stats of where we stand. Snowiest October's on record. We now are past to that first place spot of 11.1. We currently stand at 11.2 inches. From this current system that we saw just today, kind of moving through the region, Duluth has picked up 3.4 inches. So, of course, it is on the low end of the amounts that we were looking at originally from yesterday, but much different obviously from down by the hill, or down by the lake rather than up on the hill. You'll see here on the Doppler and satellite, the Canal Park area still seeing those moderate rain showers, as well as over in Superior, even all the way through Ashland. Roads are just wet in everywhere in downtown Duluth. The further inland you go, and of course a little bit higher elevation areas, you do have some slushy roadways with that snow sticking, and that is where the National Weather Service does sit, so therefore they did record about 3.4 inches so far. Now it is snowing. That snow will come to an end in about an hour or so as it moves off to our east. Here's a quick check at those road conditions. For the most part, we're looking at partially covered roads in the Minnesota side. A few spots up to the north that you see with those pink stretches, we're looking at completely covered roads. But otherwise, if you take a look over in Wisconsin, we're looking at road-wise looking all green for the most part, because that area has been seeing mainly rain showers for the majority of this system, so roads are still looking good. The thing you have to watch for this area in Wisconsin, temperatures dropping to below freezing, looking at some freezing rain overnight into tomorrow morning. And then same goes for the Duluth area. I'll have a quick check at your extended forecast coming up in just a bit.
All right, thanks, Caitlin. And while that snow continues to fall in some places, those road conditions continue to change. Let's head out to CBS 3's Natalie Grant, who is in our live I-3 for us tonight in the Rice Lake area. Natalie, how are things looking out there?
Well, Kristen, I am currently on top of the hill here in the Rice Lake neighborhood on Howard Gneissen Road. I'll flip it around so you can get a better look at what the current road conditions are looking like. Definitely a different picture than what we saw at 5 and 6 o'clock tonight. Definitely some more accumulation on the roads. As you can see, there's a lot more snow covering it up, making it harder to see here. Snow is being pushed off to the side as well. My driver here says that he's going a little bit under the speed limit, but definitely the snow is making things a little bit slippery up here. Now, so far, if we've been out tonight, we have not seen any plows. However, I personally did see plows down in the downtown area earlier today, so they are out here salting the roads in certain areas to make sure that that commute tomorrow morning and throughout the night is easier for folks. Now, with this early accumulation of snow, people are hurrying to get their cars all set for winter. I spoke with one Duluth tire shop today about things that you should be doing now to keep safe on the roads this winter.
Business has gone through the roof in the past week.
Ready or not, winter is here. And with it comes the task of making sure your vehicle is ready. Jeff Berman and his team at Duluth Tire say that the early snow is keeping them busy.
We've seen an influx of 60 to 70 plus appointments in the course of the first hour. So right now we're booked out a few days.
Checking your tires, fluids, and wipers.
Customers come in and just say, make sure my car's winterized. And they leave it at that. And then we take care of it bumper to bumper.
Berman says that putting extra time and money in now will pay off down the road.
Definitely helps us. It does spread it out over the whole snow tire season.
Getting a jump start at keeping roads safer this winter.
Now, Berman said that also aside from tires, people should be doing things like making sure that they have extra blankets, emergency kits, and jumper cables in their cars ready to go for winter. But for now, I'll send things back into the studio to you, Kristen.
That is a great tip. Always have those things, mittens, gloves, hats, whatever you can think of. Doesn't hurt to have them in your car. Thanks, Natalie.
Duluth's homeless population will have a place to go when overnight temperatures dip below freezing this winter. That's a change from years past when the City Warming Center opened when temperatures were colder. Last year, it only opened on nights below 20 degrees. In 2018, that threshold was 0. Another change is this year, the Warming Center will be back at City Center West on 58th Avenue West and Grand Avenue. They'll be ready to start operating as early as November 4th. The city says there will be strict cleaning protocols in place. They've prepared to serve as many people as they need to. City reps say they are considering additional Warming Center locations if they need more space to maintain social distancing.
New data released today could mean the end of after-school activities for Duluth students. Duluth's COVID-19 case rate is currently about 33 cases per 10,000 residents. That's the third week in a row that number has been above 30. Duluth School District leaders said if that happened, they may have to end after-school activities, including athletics. That possibility has received a lot of feedback from athletes, students, and parents. This group gathered outside the district offices earlier this week, asking the district to let them play. District leaders say they'll have an update on their plans tomorrow.
Wisconsin has recorded its highest one-day total of new coronavirus deaths. Yesterday, officials reported 48 COVID-19 deaths statewide. Officials also report the first patient was admitted to a field hospital near Milwaukee, which opened last week to help hospitals coping with the significant rise of patients. Cases have been rising since September, with 43% of those tested coming back positive. Health officials report more than 1,600 deaths to date from COVID. 183,000 people have tested positive statewide.
Still to come on Live Local CBS 3, early season snow has many folks excited. Find out why some Northland hunters believe the snow will give them an advantage.
And as snow moves out of the region late tonight, we are in for a pretty chilly start to our weekend. We'll have a look at your extended 7-day forecast coming up next.
Live, local, CBS 3 News at 10 with Kristen Vaki, Anthony Matt, Kelly Hinson, and weather with meteorologist Dave Anderson on Live, local, CBS 3.
The Kelly Clarkson Show right here.
Weekdays at 3 on CBS 3.
Welcome to Medical Insight, a weekly healthcare feature brought to you by the experts at Essentia Health. Here's your host, Louis St. George.
Today in Medical Insight, Essentia Health orthopedic surgeon Bill Uffman explains hip arthroscopy, which is meant to treat labral and cartilage injuries in people typically under the age of 40 and without any signs of arthritis.
With a hip arthroscopy, we're able to get in the joint, look around, kind of assess the level of damage, fix a labral tear. Sometimes we have to reconstruct the labrum because it is very damaged and not fixable. They have extra bone sitting kind of in the front of their hip that when they flex their hip up, kind of bangs against their hip socket. Those people are at a much higher predisposition to develop hip arthritis later on in life.
And Dr. Uffman says it's not always clear why these injuries occur. They could be the result of a very active lifestyle as youngsters. Regardless, they are painful.
But sometimes it gets to the point where you can't sit, you know, long car rides, you can't put your shoes and socks on, or, you know, you can't walk without pain. And that's kind of when, you know, when people sort of typically come to see me. So by going in and addressing that before it kind of, you know, that horse leaves the barn, going in there and trying to kind of prevent any further damage at typically a younger age, we think that it, you know, is kind of a hip sparing procedure.
Following hip arthroscopy, patients can expect to be back full bore within 6 to 8 months. For Medical Insight, I'm Louis St. George.
To learn more about this and other health topics, visit essentiahealth.org/medicalinsight.
The Social Security Administration just released a report saying that if a plan like the one Trump is proposing goes into effect, the Social Security Trust Fund would be, and I quote, permanently depleted by the middle of calendar year 2023. Put it plainly, Trump's plan would wipe out Social Security. If I'm your president, we're going to protect Social Security and Medicare. You have my word. I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
CBS 3 weather is brought to you by Lulich Implement. And now your Weather Max forecast with meteorologist Caitlin Moffitt.
Taking a look at some of these road conditions here. Now, the snow's kind of continuing to fall for portions further inland. Here in Canal Park, where our station sits, we have been seeing rain all afternoon and evening just because of those warm temperatures, the wind. There's so many factors that have kind of messed up with this system, and it's made these fall storms very difficult because we have a lot more factors to kind of think about before the wintertime months arrive. Now, those road conditions here are partially covered for most spots in Minnesota, looking at those blue roads. Of course, if you further inland, you're going to see a lot of slush on those roadways like you saw with our Live I-3 out on the roads this evening. A little bit further north in the Iron Range, we've got a few completely covered spots, but then over in northern Wisconsin, for the most part, all pretty good road conditions. The biggest factor tonight for for your Wisconsin roads is that as temperatures drop below freezing, a lot of these rain showers you're now seeing will have turned into freezing rain and could create some problems on the roads then. So the Doppler and satellite right now, a lot of rain still over all of northern Wisconsin, as well as us here in the Canal Park area, Superior even as well. This light little band still kind of moving through areas in central and north central Minnesota. For the most part, a lot of our region, though, is completely out of this system, and it will continue to move out through the next couple of hours. Although we have made it as the snowiest Octobers on record, coming in at 11.2 inches so far. The system, of course, is still snowing up on the hill tonight, so that could rise just a couple more spots, but we still are, of course, #1 in terms of the record for snowiest Octobers. If we want to beat November, come November, we have to get over 50 inches of snow. Temperature-wise, up on the hill, 32 degrees, 36 degrees down here by the lake, so still very mild, and that, of course, is why we're seeing so much rain instead of snow. Temperature is all right under that freezing mark for off to our north and west, and as we time out the rest of the snow, by 1 o'clock, we're just seeing some lingering shower activity, more so flurries and even some rain mixing in, of course, because this is all by the lake that we see. The rest of the areas, we're looking at dry conditions, mostly cloudy skies, and then, of course, this area, the UP area, the snow belt, they will start to see a transition into lake effect snow as we've got winds shifting out of the north. So a very blustery cold wind coming off of a warm Lake Superior will create some lake effect snowfall for those folks along the South Shore all the way through your Friday afternoon. You'll see that development here on the Futurecast. So they're going to probably pick up another inch or two or so overnight tonight, and then it's going to kind of hang around for much of the day tomorrow. Here in the Twin Ports by 7 o'clock, things start to clear out pretty nicely, but that also means temperatures, they're going to plummet pretty low into your Saturday morning. We're going to be waking up Saturday morning in the teens for most spots, even some low 20s possible closer to the lake, and then we'll see some sunshine through the day on Saturday. 28 degrees tonight up on the hill, 31 down by the lake, mid to low 20s up to our north, upper 20s for folks in northern Wisconsin, still sitting under those clouds with some rain showers and lake effect, of course, for those folks. And then tomorrow, we're going to see mostly cloudy skies for northern Wisconsin. The UP, Ironwood, Ashland, Mercer, and even Washburn could see a little bit of lake effect snow showers tomorrow afternoon, while areas over in Minnesota will see partly cloudy to mostly cloudy skies. Temperatures right around 35 degrees. 7-day forecast, all 7 days we sit well below our average temperature, as average high is supposed to be near 50 degrees for that high temp, as well as low temperatures. We're supposed to be sitting in those mid to upper 20s. So the start to our weekend is going to be on a pretty chilly note, but finally, after today's little wintry mess that we had out there, we're going to see some dry conditions, some sunshine. Just bundle up and nice weekend ahead.
And I know we talked about the record. That's awesome. We love to celebrate those records in our Northland, but a lot of people are going to be asking about that October blizzard in 1991, but most of that came in November. So
that's the thing. It started October on Halloween. It started like after 8 p.m., but the majority of that system fell on November 1st. Okay. So the record, of course, we still beat it. That Halloween blizzard is considered a November storm.
There you go. The more
so
you
that
know.
Clears it up.
Yeah. Thanks, Caitlin.
Yep.
Well, early season snow isn't only getting skiers and snowboarders excited, but some hunters as well.
CBS3 meteorologist Alex Libby went over to a Pike Lake gun shop to see why hunters are hoping for more snow to fall.
Scott Van Volkenberg, the owner of Fisherman's Corner, is the go-to guy if you're looking to bag a buck. He says early season snow is a welcome sight for hunters to get the upper hand.
Yeah, I don't like snow, don't get me wrong here, but it definitely helps the hunters.
He says after a fresh snow, tracking the deer's footprints give the hunters a huge advantage.
You can get on a fresh set of track after nice fresh snow and follow it, and good chance you can come up on the deer if you work the wind correctly, you know.
Not only are the deer easier to track, but see.
Van Volkenberg says with a snowy background, hundreds of feet away, you can still see the deer and make a good, clean shot.
Longtime hunter Wesley Shore agrees.
Well, the contrast, that's the biggest thing. You know, because the deer, you know, they can really blend in with the coverage. But the white and the shadows, no, they can't hide from that.
Shore added that his favorite part about hunting in the snow is how quiet it is. He says he can maneuver through the woods without making a sound. So adding up all the advantages to the hunter, it looks like this year will be a successful one.
Well, it should be a fun year, you know. I think there's going to be some big buckshot. We've had some nice weather the last couple of years, and the deer should be at full swing and looking like a good year for a big buck.
Van Valkenburg says even with rifle season a few weeks away, he has already seen an uptick in customers coming into his shop. Minnesota's firearm deer season opens November 7th. Wisconsin's starts November 21st. Archery and crossbow seasons have already started in both states.
Still to come on Live Local CBS 3, a Minnesota judge has dismissed a third-degree murder count in the George Floyd case. We'll have the details coming up right after the break.
CBS 3 live cams are brought to you by Kohler Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac. You're not just getting a car, you're getting Kohler.
Having reliable internet with Mediacom has been so great for us during these crazy times. It's allowed my husband to continue to work from home without missing a beat. We had our second son during the pandemic, and it allowed us to connect with family members. They've been able to see each of the different milestones through FaceTime calls and Zoom calls, and it's been a very special time every time we get to do that. So thank you to Mediacom.
Because of this, we built Ford Super Duty to be the most capable heavy-duty pickup ever. Because of this, we built Ford F-150 with 375 horsepower. Because of this, we built Ford Ranger with a terrain management system. And because Ford trucks are built for this, you made Ford America's best-selling brand. Now lease an F-150 for just $299 a month. That's just $299 a month, only at your local Northland Ford dealer.
It isn't always easy living in the Northland. Up here, we have to count on our neighbors and let them know they can always count on us. I have the honor of serving our community in the state assembly. Down there, I'm fighting to make healthcare more affordable and broadband more accessible. My opponent has other ideas. He wants to help companies like Foxconn give tax cuts and bailouts to billionaires, leaving us behind. I'm Beth Myers, and you can always count on me.
Hello, I'm Steve Little with Bath Planet. For the month of October, we are offering free installation for bathtubs, showers, safety tubs, and surrounds. Get your dream bathroom with free installation. As always, you can still get one of our great financing options for low monthly payments, or 0 down, 0 interest, and 0 payments until 2022. This offer ends October 31st, so call us today or go online to book your appointment to take advantage of this amazing offer. Bath Planet, out of this world service, down to earth price.
The Kelly Clarkson Show, weekdays at 3 on CBS 3.
We've been down this road long enough, but Tom Tiffany wants to keep us going in the wrong direction. Even during a pandemic, Tiffany supports taking away protections for pre-existing conditions, kicking millions off their health insurance, and forcing you to pay more. There's another way. Tricia Zunker. Zunker will put our families first with better health care and help for small businesses, workers, and farmers to get our economy moving again. Tricia Zunker for Congress.
I'm Tricia Zunker, and I approve this message.
Get your new UTV from Duluth Lawn and Sports, the region's largest power sports dealer.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Let's check in with meteorologist Caitlin Moffitt this morning.
And the below average trend
Thanks so much for joining us. So wake up with us starting at 5 a.m.
Watch Caitlin and Jenna in the morning at 5 and 6 a.m. on CBS 3. The Kelly Clarkson Show, weekdays at 3 on CBS 3.
A Minnesota judge has dismissed a third-degree murder charge for the former Minneapolis police officer who knelt on the neck of George Floyd.
Esme Murphy from our sister station WCCO in the Twin Cities has the details.
Prosecutors praised the ruling. Attorney General Keith Ellison saying the court has sustained 8 out of 9 charges against the defendants in the murder of George Floyd, including the most serious charges. This is an important, positive step forward in the path towards justice. We reached out to the 4 former officers' attorneys and got a brief comment from Thomas Lane's attorney, Earl Gray, who told us simply, now we go to trial. Legal experts not involved in the case say the dropping of the lesser charge against Chauvin was expected.
I wasn't surprised at all. We did what I'll call some head scratching as to, how is this charge going to stand because of the case law.
The judge is also expected to make 2 more major rulings any day now. The first is for a change of venue. The defense attorneys want this trial moved out of Minneapolis and St. Paul. And the second is whether the 4 former officers should be tried separately or together. Retired Hennepin County Judge Lejeune Lang expects Judge Peter Cahill will eventually rule that the trial not be moved and that pretrial publicity will not prejudice a local jury more than an out-of-town jury.
With the internet, with the cell phone news feeds, with breaking news, everyone around the world knows the details at the same time about developments in this particular case.
Lang says she also expects the judge to eventually rule that all 4 former officers should be tried together. Esme Murphy, WCCO 4 News.
And after that news today, Governor Tim Walz activated 100 Minnesota National Guard members to help law enforcement in the Twin Cities.
Coming up in sports, high school volleyball highlights. We'll have them after the break.
Watch Jeopardy at 4:30, followed by CBS3 Live at 5 on Live Local CBS3.
Now at Home Furniture, get 7% tax relief savings on purchases of $499 or more. Plus 0 down, no interest financing until 2022. And free no-contact shipping on orders $499 or more. Tax relief savings going on now at Home Furniture.
It's coming. You ready? Because Toro's Snow Days sale is here. With the #1 brand in snowblowers, you will dominate winter. And now during Toro's Snow Days, get up to $100 off select 2-stage snowblowers, up to $40 off select 60-volt battery snowblowers, and up to $50 off select single-stage snowblowers. Plus great financing offers. Win winter with Toro.
I'm Quinn Nystrom, and I pay $600 a month for 2 vials of insulin, and that's with insurance. Meanwhile, drug company profits go up and up. It's why I refuse to take their money from my campaign. But Pete Stauber has taken tens of thousands of dollars from corporate interests and voted 5 times against lowering the cost of prescription drugs. I approve this message because I know we literally can't afford Pete Stauber in Congress.
I'm Sean Mullen, a physician assistant at St. Luke's Orthopedics and Sports Medicine. I first became interested in orthopedics from my own injuries in high school sports. I became fascinated with the way the body recovers and heals. You only get one body, so if you take care of it well, that will pay dividends for you down the road. Taking a patient who is in a bad place from an injury or a condition, knowing that you're a part of their care and helping to increase their quality of life is one of my favorite things about working here.
Highlander or Highlander Hybrid. Visit Toyota.com to learn more. Toyota, let's go places.
I am Robert. My wife, Katie.
I'm Ollie.
Yes, you're Ollie. We are the 4th generation of a family farm. It has been more down times than good times. 2 years ago, a storm came through this area, took down our barn. Financially, it was unbearable, but Tina Smith and her staff, they came through big for us.
And she continues to be there for us. That's something I've never seen in a politician before. Really impressed me. I feel very fortunate to have her as our senator.
I'm Tina Smith, and I approve this message.
Now at Home Sleep Express, spend $499 or more and get tax relief savings of 7% on Luxuria, Thomas Cole, and Heirloom mattresses. This Euro Top Queen mattress now just $464, and free no-contact shipping. Tax relief savings now at Home Sleep Express.
It's been quite the start for the Grand Rapids volleyball team this season. The team is yet to drop a set all season. The Thunderhawks on the road taking on a 2-2 Hermantown Hawks squad. It looked good early for Rapids. Claire Walsh skies up and smacks one past a Hawk for the kill, and that'll tie the game up. Moments later, Hermantown now double up as Megan Menzel doubles the Hawks lead with the tip-in. The Hawks would not back down. Amelia Risch with the little drop in there. That spot always works. Hermantown goes up by 9. They would go on to take the set and the match by a final of 3-1. And in Duluth, Denfeld hosting an unbeaten Proctor Rails squad. Early on, Aubrey Garner with a big-time spike that puts the Rails out in front by a point. The Hunters keeping pace there, down 2. Claire Kloster with the nice placement and bounds. Now just a 1-point game, but the Rails would be just too much down the stretch. Peyton Rodberg with the ace. Proctor goes on to win in straight sets. And further south, Evelyn Gilbert made the trip over to Cloquet. First set, Lumberjacks with the lead. Emerson Rock goes up for the tip, and it drops down for the nice little kill. Cloquet takes the first set 25-17. To the second, Maggie Laudner sets it up for Emily Kemp. Off the block and away for the point. Golden Bears hanging around, but the Jacks would put their foot on the gas. Ava Carlson serves her second straight ace there. Cloquet wins it in 4 sets. Over in Wisconsin, the volleyball playoffs are underway. Northwestern advances with a 3-0 sweep at Cumberland. They'll travel to Barron on Saturday after their win over Hayward tonight. To hockey, the Indy Fuel have announced the signing of UMD alum Peter Krieger. Krieger spent last season playing hockey overseas in Sweden, and now he'll lace up for the AHL affiliate of the Chicago Blackhawks. The Oakdale, Minnesota native played 85 games as a Bulldog, earning 20 goals and 34 assists, helping the Bulldogs to back-to-back NCAA national championship titles in 2018 and 2019. A team that went through a lot of adversity this season would finally earn it last night. The Duluth Denfeld boys soccer team captured the Section 7A title with a 2-1 win over Proctor. That makes it 3 section titles in the last 5 seasons for the Hunters. The team would adopt the underdog role once again this postseason as it started, and the Hunters, as the 8th seed, would pick up key upset wins over previously unbeaten CEC, as well as the 5-seeded Grand Rapids. Head coach Scott Anderson says it was his team's determination that helped them succeed.
I look at it as a team with tenacity. Just going through this whole year of 2020 with the COVID situations, with the uncertainty of that kind of stuff, having a good season, then all of a sudden we hit Cloquet and fell apart. And to come back from that and do what they did in beating those higher seeds all the way just says a lot about all the young men on the team.
A Section 7A crown might not be the only hardware that senior midfielder Keegan Chasty will be taking home. Chasty is up for the Mr. Soccer Award, which he says just being nominated is a great honor.
I think it's a testament to the hard work I've put in over the years and the coaching I've received from Denfeld Soccer, Gitch, and lots of other things I've done throughout the years. But yeah, it means a lot. I'm very thankful for the opportunities I've had with, those programs to put me where I am now.
The award will be announced on October 31st. Also, Denfeld beat Princeton, not Proctor. I had the Rails on the mind after they, went on to win in volleyball. My bad. That's going to do it for sports. We'll be right back after the break.
CBS3 closed captioning is brought to you by Essentia Health. Need a flu shot? Find flu booth dates and locations at essentiahealth.org.
Because of this, we built Ford Super Duty to be the most capable heavy-duty pickup ever. Because of this, we built Ford F-150 with 375 horsepower. Because of this, we built Ford Ranger with a terrain management system. And because Ford trucks are built for this, you made Ford America's best-selling brand. Now lease an F-150 for just $299 a month. That's just $299 a month. Only at your local Northland Ford dealer.
Snow piles up quickly. Remove it just as quickly with Kubota subcompact and compact tractors. Our #1 selling tractors are built to take on winter with front and rear mount snow blowers, blades, and rotary sweepers. Get select Kubota subcompact or compact tractors for 0 down, 0% APR for up to 60 months and save $1,100 plus no payments for 90 days. See your local Kubota dealer today.
No one serves you better than Lulich Implement.
Okay, Mr. Medicare figure-outer. One last question. What's the cost?
For many, Part A is free. Cost goes up the more parts you add. But UCare has Medicare Advantage plans that come with everything you need.
Sounds good. And so does your bike. Now.
Yeah, thanks to you, she's purring like a kitten on a bed of yarn.
Well, that's a new one.
Yeah, I just made it up. You can steal it for your bike shop.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
First, the radical left came after Republicans like me.
Then the radical left came after police officers like me.
Now, they're coming after you. We live in dangerous times. That's why I'll always defend the police and your Second Amendment right to defend your family. Tina Smith has already voted against both. I'm Jason Lewis, and not only do I approve of this message, I guarantee it. Not bad.
Let's keep practicing.
I support Pete Stauber because Pete Stauber has working men and women's backs.
Pete Stauber has worked to get our economy reopened and bring jobs back to Minnesota.
Pete doesn't care about politics. He cares about doing his job and creating jobs for us.
Fighting for our jobs, fighting for our families, fighting for our way of life.
This isn't about politics. This is about protecting jobs in Minnesota. Pete Stauber's there for us when the rubber meets the road.
Pete Stauber for Congress.
I'm Pete Stauber, and I approve this message.
Season 2 is here, y'all. And yes, I am in an eye patch. How much more, Kelly, can it
The
get?
Kelly Clarkson Show, weekdays at 3 on CBS3.
All right, Caitlin, we are wrapping up, hopefully.
Yes, the snow is about out of here. So I want to quick the 7-day forecast really quick. Friday, 35 degrees for your high temp. We'll start the weekend on a cold but dry note, and temperatures drop down to the teens overnight.
Even a little bit of sunshine, it looks like.
Good.
Thanks for joining us.
We'll see you again tomorrow.